There's not one guy, one person in the history of this program that's bigger than the program.
What's better than this? Guys being dudes.
Oh, what's up and welcome into episode number 57 of the Program Guys Podcast. My name is Mason Prince, joined with you as always by Ryan Tyson, Mark Hall, Matt Gann, Patrick Kirchberger. Today is Wednesday, February 8th. Be sure to like and subscribe on our YouTube channel. Trying to hit 1,500 subscribers on our YouTube channel. Help us out more than you know just by clicking that subscribe button. Costs you $0, my friends. Helps us out more than you know. Also, you can follow us on Twitter at Program Guys with a Z, our Instagram Program Guys with a Z, our Facebook page Program Guys Podcast. However you get your podcast, that's where you can find us on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, all of that good stuff. Fellas, how we doing? It's a very, 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 very slow week. I feel like this week is just dragging on, and it's only Wednesday when you're hearing this, but this week is dragging on for me.
Yeah, it's really slow. Oh, also, I'm back. I had to be first. I had to jump in here.
I'm back.
No.
Yeah. Pat?
No, it's good. It's good to see everybody. That's all.
Might be the slowest week, but we're going to bring the energy. Energy level's going to be up.
Energy level's up. Slow week, but there's always stuff to talk about in the world. Always stuff for us to cover, and we'll cover some stuff. Matt Gann, how you doing?
Greatest week of football is here. It's Super Bowl. It's a great time to be alive. What more can you complain about?
Man,
is it the greatest week of football? I don't know about that.
I'm fired up. I'm fired up for the game, but it doesn't make me happy to know we have one more game until we no longer get football till the end of August.
Bro, XFL.
Yeah.
Spring
game.
game.
Gades and spring game. Game. Mark, how you doing?
Man, it's a slow week on the OU front, but it is the Super Bowl this week, and there's a lot to talk about there. So,
yeah.
And the outline is light, little behind the scenes for the listener, so you can expect us to just go anywhere.
Yeah.
It's going to be like our longest episode with the shortest.
Oh, I know. Every time,
so,
a little inside baseball for the listeners. Anytime that we plan out our show and we have a lot of stuff that we want to talk about, we always seem to move through it very well. Whenever it's that very empty, those are our longest shows. Those are our longest shows. Those are the shows that go an hour and a half. So I don't know. We'll try to keep it short, but I don't know. Let's have some fun.
Exactly. No problem.
Yeah, let's have some fun. All right, so OU football news to get us started for the people. Spring game date is announced. That is, wow, I almost said August. Jeez. April 22nd for the spring game in Norman, Oklahoma. Keep in mind, last year's spring game, massive turnout. Huge turnout for Brent Venables' first spring game. You boys think they can do that again? I think so. I think even following a struggling season, the vibes are at an all-time high. I feel like
vibes are great.
I feel like the vibes are positive.
It'll be interesting. We had 75,360 fans last year. I think we'll be more around 65,000. I don't know if we're going to bring in that many.
I think that's fair, and that's still a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah, I don't know if we'll reach that just because it was more of a novelty thing that this was the first time we're going to see Brent Venables on the field, all this kind of stuff. I don't know if it'll be that high, but just kind of going off your point, Mason, the vibes are really good coming off the 23 class signing. And, I feel like there's going to be a lot of people there.
Yeah. Jackson Arnold's going to be, I think, a big star of the spring game. And I think people are going to roll out to see him. I think you can definitely count on sort of the local alumni group and the local fan base to roll out in a way that we weren't seeing before last year. Those people are going to make the trip. Are all of your students going to wake up and show up for the game? Are you going to see everyone make the trip from Dallas and from Tulsa and Kansas, further out even for a spring game? I mean, we saw it last year, but are the vibes that high? Are people that in? I hope so, because last year was awesome. And I know that we've talked about hopefully squatting up for this. And I can't think of anything more fun as a nice Sooner football taste.
Yeah, a little taster.
Yeah.
taster for the people. Matt, you were shaking your head no that people weren't
Yeah.
going to show up in droves like last year.
Yeah, I don't think they are. I hope I'm wrong. I hope we get a similar output that last year was. I think last year was more of a one-off, right? We had the transition, the new coach, everything that happened. I think that just kind of brought all of Norman and the fan base together. Again, great scene, great atmosphere. I just don't think there's that kind of pool, that kind of vibe. I love the recruiting class and all that. I don't think that's enough to bring 75,000 people. Like Mark said, I don't think that's enough to bring people outside of Norman, the students, to get behind this year and the spring game. I just don't see it. And again, I grew up in Norman. I used to go to the spring games. Really hardly ever that full. So we'll see what happens. But I think probably going to be on the lower side. I'm thinking like maybe 20, 30 if –
I don't think so. I think they'll be higher.
I think 20, 30. I think you guys are going to be surprised how many people actually turn out.
You think 20 to 30,000?
Yeah.
Someone. Oh, we are recording this. I was like, someone record this.
So I'm going to set, I'll give you some credit. I'll set the over under at 35,000. You're going to take the under?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll take the over. Let's
Over.
make a bet.
Yeah, definitely over. Another
Let's make
thing
a bet.
that we're not talking
Half
about.
of last year? Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Sorry,
Another
Pat.
thing
You
we're not
guys be
talking
surprised.
about is it was Baker's statue reveal last year, and that did help to a certain capacity as well.
That's
to
fair.
get those numbers up.
And as far as we know, we're not doing the Kyler one yet, even though Kyler won his Heisman 1 year after
Yeah,
Baker
right.
hits.
Mhm.
You know, not the time yet, I guess.
Yeah,
I
I
think
don't know.
Baker needed it last year.
I think so. I think that's
Yeah.
fair. I think so.
We all
Also, just random. I saw this when I was scrolling the interwebs earlier. I don't know why, but I didn't put together that Caleb Schaefer, that transfer coming in, the 4-year starter from Miami of Ohio, is 6'5", 333. That's a big dude.
Big dude.
That's a
Hopefully a
big
plug and
dude.
play guy, man.
Yeah.
Can I jump in one thing with the spring game
Sure.
attendance?
Yeah, I was just talking.
I just again, I want to talk about this 35,000 because in 2019 our attendance was 50,228, and then in 2018 it was 52,102. I don't think we're going to go down to those levels. I think we're going to be higher than that. So I think we're going to sit somewhere in the middle.
But
So
we're
the
less
over-under
should
excited
really
than
be
the second year of
55.
Spencer
I know.
Rattler.
OU, this is my
It was
thing
like
with
a
Matt.
durr.
OU brought 35,000 people to a bowl game they knew they were going to lose in Orlando, Florida. They're going to get
Played pretty well.
yeah, but I mean they knew they were going to lose. So like they're going to get 50,000 at least in that stadium for the spring game. I'm telling you right now.
I think so too.
I'm telling you right now.
I can't
So,
wait to prove Gen wrong.
Again, you're wrong. You're wrong. Wrong. So other college football news kind of pertaining to OU. Alabama has their coordinators, both defensive and offensive. So, whoops. Sorry about that. I don't know if you could hear that or not. Alabama hires Tommy Rees as their offensive coordinator, which means Jeff Lebby is not the offensive coordinator at the University of
Hey,
Alabama.
and Ted Ruse
Dang.
not the defensive coordinator. We're keeping
All
him
right.
too.
That was pretty good.
Sorry.
That was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good. So Jeff Lebby's staying in town, at least for one more year,
Hey, we'll take it, baby.
right? I mean,
I love it.
it's great.
I think the Reese hire is really interesting for Alabama, and I'm curious on how that goes. Just because he's like 30, isn't he? He's such a young guy,
yeah.
and he's been with Notre Dame like his entire career, and I'm interested to see how that vibes with Saban. But
Yeah, I feel like Alabama's such a plug and play
yeah,
though. Like with that talent you have on that roster, I mean, you could have a pretty bad offensive scheme and still be really good. Like
yeah.
just because you have the best athletes on the field. That's how I feel about it. Anybody, how are we feeling on the Lebby front? I think this just means Lebby's here for one more year, and I've already accepted that he's gone after this year.
Yeah, I would agree, but I also just devil's advocate. I feel like the jury may still be out because he's always had an awesome head coach when he has had his awesome offensive numbers. And I think if you take out the Texas game, we were still a top 20 offense in the country, which is good. But the jury's still out if he can have a defensive head coach and still run the offense to like a top 5, top 10.
I could definitely see him staying one more year following this year if we do indeed go to the SEC. I know the jury's still out on that, but I don't know. I could just like I could see it for maybe one more year, but it's close. He's gonna probably get a head coaching job somewhere. I think the Alabama stuff only made that more likely.
Yeah.
Just because people are circling and people will always be circling at the end of every year. And if he was on the top of an Alabama list, he's going to be on the top of a lot of people's lists.
So that's where I'm going to go, though. And I'm going to flip it the other way. Is he was at the top of Alabama's list, right?
Mm-hmm.
And through either negotiation or loyalty or whatever happened, Oklahoma retained Jeff Lebby after Alabama made overtures more than once to get him. If that job can't take you as an offensive coordinator, nothing short of the NFL is going to take you from Oklahoma as an offensive coordinator, right? Yeah. So now we're talking about head coaching jobs. And fair enough, man, maybe you take a step down for a head coaching job. Throw out the place, right? Tennessee's pretty set. Ole Miss feels pretty set with Lane Kiffin. Mississippi State might happen, but they just hired the guy after
Leach.
Yeah, the guy after Leach. So
yeah.
You would think he has a little bit of a longer runway than that. I mean, where's the job coming from? It's gonna be in the SEC. He's not pulling a Dan Lanning.
No.
I don't think so.
No.
So in theory, I think we probably have maybe a year longer, unless something goes horribly awry this season. But I'm kind of thinking he rides out Jackson Arnold a little bit longer than that so that he can really show what he wants to cook with.
Yeah, not only that, but I think we hired him to take us to the SEC. I think he gives us a year in the SEC.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you, Pat. Like I think there's a year there, and then like, yeah, I think there's a strong connection with him and Arnold. So I could see that. The only like kind of jobs that I could see him going to, I think it would be SEC. I mean, like, how long is Napier at Florida if he doesn't do
that
well?
Job feels like a dead end for anybody who's there.
Like, I don't, but that is something that I think could grab him. Like
unless
something
he
like
gets
that.
DJ Lagway.
Yeah.
Because if Billy Napier gets DJ Lagway, the runway's a little longer.
Yeah. Matt, you were shaking your head when Mark was talking, and you were agreeing with Mark. Go ahead and jump in.
No, I think he took the words right out of my mouth. I think when it comes to when BV was getting the coaching staff together, this was ultimately to move into the SEC, right? There's always talks that we might move there a year early, whatever it is, but it seems like the target is 2 years from now. And knowing to set up your coaching staff to bring in the recruiting classes, especially with helm of the helm, Jackson Arnold, for sure he's going to stick through Jackson Arnold's tenure. I don't see him leaving until Jackson Arnold decides to go to the draft or whatever he decides to do, depending on how well he does, right? If he's the guy that we all think he is, Jeff Lebby is definitely staying, especially through the SEC. That's what we hired him for. Now, how many seasons in the SEC? I would say maybe one or two. If he keeps performing at the level that he has in the past with, top 5 offenses, then a head coaching job will become available, and ultimately, I assume. But again, we don't know. Jeff Lebby maybe doesn't want to be a head coach. I have no idea what his aspirations are. Maybe he continues to work with BV and the staff for a lot longer, but definitely for sure, I think locked in for at least Jackson Arnold's tenure for sure.
I get where you're coming from, because you never want to assume what guys want. He wants to be a head coach. He ain't Bill Beatonbow. He's not a lifelong position guy or offensive coordinator. He wants to be a head coach. And I think he follows the route like Kirby Smart did, hitch his wagon to a really good coach, be there for a few years, make a name for himself, and then when a big job like Georgia won't open up, but a job like Georgia opens up, Lebby will be the first name on that list that they'll look for.
That's the interesting thing, though, right? Is Oklahoma is to Jeff Lebby what Georgia is to Kirby Smart. right?
Right.
That's where he was, or that's where he came up. So I just think it's going to take some real strong tendrils to get him out of this role or a head coaching job that is above anything that I see coming open anytime soon. You know what it might be? Like if he was the OC at Bama, wouldn't you think?
Yes. I was just about to say that. Yeah.
And now you don't think that about Tommy Reese necessarily, but with Jeff Lebby, I definitely think that.
Dude, there are rumors a swirl at Bama right now, and there always are because everyone wants to know the end of Nick Saban. But I've been seeing stuff just swirl like, why is Nick Saban having such a hard time getting these coordinators in? It's because the coordinators know that he's not going to be there for much longer or something like stuff along that line. It's wild. It's wild. I feel like Nick Saban's one of those guys who's going to be there wearing diapers, coach until he's 88 and ready to go out.
Are we sure he's not in diapers?
No.
You don't have to be wearing like boxer briefs to pull in a great recruiting class.
Correct.
But maybe to sit on national television and watch Georgia beat TCU.
Yeah.
The one thing that – yeah, go ahead, Mark.
Oh, my thing is just a Bama nitpick. I don't trust their quarterback situation moving forward. I don't think Milrose, whatever it is.
No.
I don't know enough to really make the claim, but I don't trust him. Sorry, Pat.
No, I was just going to say, I would like to see us get a plan B in if this is Lebby's last year or he only has 2 years left. And I keep saying this, but I want Seth Luttrell to become some kind of like offensive consultant coordinator at OU or even like an assistant head coach to take over that job in the future, just to have someone internally as a plan B rather than hire from the outside when the time comes.
It's good point, Pat. We keep talking about a guy a coaching change that isn't happening at Lebby staying in town, but I want to circle the wagons because there might be a coaching change happening in another sport because good God, Matt, this basketball team is freaking terrible. They're so bad.
Yeah.
They're so bad.
It's a great point. It's not that Porter Moser is not a good coach. He might just not be a good fit for what Oklahoma's looking.
I can agree with that.
And we'll just have to see, right? It's only been a few seasons, but after going and playing Alabama, the number 2 team, putting an absolute stomping on them, and then to have back-to-back miserable performances, losing to Bedlam again, 71-63, and then perhaps probably the worst game of the season, playing West Virginia and losing by 30. It just felt like the air just got absolutely gut punched out of OU at that point. Did they really have a chance to make it to the tournament? Maybe after the Alabama win, but after those two games afterwards, most likely not. I've never seen a team really fall that kind of from grace after being a number 2 team in the nation. So it doesn't get any easier for the Sooners either. If you guys listen to this schedule I'm about to bring up to you guys, you're going to think, hey, is there even another win on the column? So let me just give you real quick the next 8 regular season games for OU's men's basketball. Upcoming is at number 14 Baylor. Then we play Kansas at home, who are number 9. Number 12 Kansas State at home. Number 5 Texas. We got to go to Lubbock and play, or Texas Tech comes here. And then we finish off the last 3 games with 3 ranked opponents. Number 11 Iowa State, number 12 K-State again, and number 17 TCU. That is an absolute gauntlet. I don't know about you guys. Do you guys see another win or 2 for the Sooners? What do you guys think?
I think they win. I think
maybe Tech.
I think they could beat Tech, but I think they lose. They end the season with a losing record. There's no way they end the season with a winning record, like at all. What are they now? They're like 12-8 or something.
They're 12-11 overall.
Oh, yeah,
2-8 in the Big 12.
Yeah, dude, they're garbage. They're so bad. And Tanner Groves I can't remember the Oklahoma State guy. He's the Big 12 Player of the Week. The Big 12 Player of the Week, the OSU guy. I can't remember his name, but he bullied Tanner Groves that entire game. And that should show you one of the main problems that OU has is they have no presence inside the paint. None at all. They rely solely on jump shots and threes, and it's disgusting. They can't play defense inside, and teams know that. They just feed it inside and bully them. It's because No disrespect to Tanner Groves. He's not that guy. He's not. He's just not that guy.
Not when the Big 12 is this good.
No.
That's kind of the thing, right? Like Tanner
Mhm.
Groves looked better last season. He was playing against sort of an on balance worse Big 12 last season.
Yeah.
It's also kind of novelty, right? Like new guy, but he was just a better basketball player, more effective against who he was playing against than this season. I think that's sort of part of the Oklahoma experience on the basketball court this year is I don't think everyone's terrible, but everyone is better than last year and everyone's better than us.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I can agree with that.
Yeah, we'll have to see if they end up making a coaching change. I don't know how long of a leash that Porter has, but he did have that sweet run back a couple of years back with the other team. But I just don't know if it makes sense for OU and what they're looking for. So we'll have to see what Josie and the boys come up with. So we'll see. Other good news, though, there are other programs that are actually having much, much better seasons. Sticking on the men's side, OU's men's tennis. I always say this when it happens, but pull out the brooms. 3-game sweep of their home games against Drake, Incarnate Ward, and Wichita State, only giving up one game the entire weekend. So congrats to OU's men's tennis on a well-deserved wins that they were able to accomplish. They will play Memphis this weekend in Norman before heading to the Blue-Gray Championships in Montgomery, Alabama later this month. So hopefully they can continue their great start to the season. Another program who's doing really well, it's kind of been swept under the rug, we haven't talked too much about, but OU's men's gym, currently ranked number 2 in the nation, recently beating Simpson College 407-352, put an absolute whooping on them. And this weekend, very big competition. They got number 1 Stanford coming into town along with William and Mary. So this will be happening at McCaslin Fieldhouse. So if you are in Norman this weekend, please go cheer on the guys, just like you've done the Lady Sooners. It's incredible to have the same sport on both sides be ranked so highly. And it's not just this year, guys. We're talking multi years of both of these programs competing at high levels. So if you are in Norman this weekend, please go cheer on the boys, just like have you done for the ladies as well. Now, switching over to the ladies teams, OU's women's gym just continue their dominance over the weekend, beating Iowa State 198-195. This upcoming weekend, boys, they will be in Fort Worth. They're playing Alabama, Arkansas, and Stanford. Can we get some boots on the grounds for the Dallas guys, or are we too busy on Saturday?
You guys should go.
Wait, hold on. Wait, are you asking us if we are too busy on Saturday when you are busy on Saturday?
Well, that's why I'm asking you guys. I am.
Oh,
busy.
yeah. Matt has like a date on Saturday.
Yeah,
Whoa, you have a date
on Saturday.
Circle this wagon.
This is
What
this
are
is
you guys
circle the
doing,
wagons.
Did you like how I spun that around on you? Yeah, fun.
Yeah, that's not how this was supposed to be played out. Not in my head.
What's your
Not
date?
according to my notes. This is
Hey,
not
where are
how
you
it's supposed to
going?
play
What's
out.
your
Yeah,
date?
what's the
Can you
plan?
tell us more about it?
Yeah.
Well, I
Don't
did
give
text
full
you guys.
locations because the fans might.
Yeah. Don't.
It is a mimosa walk. So there's a certain area of town nearby where I am at that is blocking off a bunch of restaurants and vendors and shops and
Brother, I got bad news for you. Mimosa Walk is very specific. That is not going to be hard for people to decipher.
Just type in Mimosa Walk
yeah, you
Dallas.
just-
They will
yeah.
find it in 2 seconds.
My God.
Okay.
That's a good date idea.
Well, anyways, I did invite the boys. I got very minimal responses, so I assume everyone
I would have
just
been
hates
there.
me. Mark and Ryan, I'm looking at you guys.
I
through my
responded
camera,
to you
so,
today. So
Yeah,
I
12
have
hours
a
later.
busy Sunday. Saturday's going to be my day.
That's amazing for you.
That's fair enough. Anyways, back to
But
the
I'm
program.
glad you're finding love.
No,
can you
Your
tell
love
us
is
about this?
important
Hey,
to
can you
us.
tell
No.
us about this girl?
No.
Oh,
it's
my
a
God.
it's a
We're gonna
first date. I
recircle
don't
this
know.
wagon next week. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
it's a first date.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
is the
first date.
Yeah, it's very exciting. Just like OU's women's gym as they continue their dominance this year. So again, they will be in Fort Worth this weekend. Another women's program doing just as good. It's a big wonk for the OU's men's basketball team, but OU women basketball stomping West Virginia 93-68. So really the vice versa of the men's game. They stomped their way to an 18-4 record, and they are currently 8-3 in Big 12 play, which I believe is the top. I think they're tied with another team in the Big 12 standings. 5 ladies in double figures, with forward Skylar Van leading the team with 16 points and 8 rebounds. I've said this multiple times as we've done the Wagon podcast. It's not just Maddie Williams. It's not just one player for these Sooners. Again, they continue to get contributions from all their players and even some of the bench players as well. So Jenny is definitely doing something right. She will definitely be sticking around for the women's program. Just not sure about the men's side. Go ahead.
Here's the standings. Texas 9-2 overall, or 9-2 in conference play. They're first. OU 8-3. They're in second.
Gotcha.
Baylor 7-3 in third.
Okay, so sole possession is second. So again, we've talked about this multiple times. It's not just the men's side of the Big 12. The women's Big 12 is also a gauntlet. So they'll continue to play with a couple other games coming up this weekend as well. Another program doing really well, OU's women's tennis, playing in the Kickoff Indoor Tournament Association. They did lose to number 10 North Carolina State 6-1, and now they'll be heading to nationals in Seattle, Washington. Schedule has not been released, but 16 teams from all the major Power 5 conferences will be playing, and that will be, I believe, this upcoming weekend, I believe. I'll double check the schedule. But as they continue to play women's tennis. Other than that, that is the Circle the Wagon segment for all the upcoming programs. Big wonk for OU's men's basketball, but plenty of other programs playing well. And we got another number 1 program, softball, coming up soon. So should be very interesting to talk about.
That's right. Thank you, Matt Gann, circling those wagons. Let's circle into the NFL. It is Super Bowl week out in Arizona. Philadelphia Eagles, Kansas City Chiefs. That's on Sunday. The game usually starts early. It's like 5 o'clock Central or 5:30 Central, something like that.
5:30 this year.
Yeah. So before we get to the Super Bowl, a little bit of NFL news. Brian Flores, former Miami Dolphins head coach and Steelers assistant, is now the new defensive coordinator for Ryan's Minnesota Vikings. Ryan, how you feeling?
I love this hire.
You should.
I think he's only probably going to be there for like a year. I don't know the details of the contract. I don't know if they've come out yet.
I don't know either.
But I figure he's going to be a head coach pretty soon. He was, interviewing for the Arizona head coach position. And I think he signed with us before he had that second interview, I believe, with the Cardinals. I love this. I think it's great. He was like my top choice, who I really wanted. I think this is incredible work by KOC and Kwesi. And I'm super excited because he knows defense. And our Ed Donatel was, RIP him. He's not dead. He's just not the defensive coordinator anymore for the Minnesota Vikings. Sorry. He's he's no longer around. But I'm excited about this. This is really, really awesome. And I'm looking forward to next year.
Love it. Brian Flores is a great defensive mind. Head coach? I don't know. Remains to be seen.
Yeah, I was going to say, let's just do it, right? Let's just do it. I don't know how long you have to worry about, he's going to go get a head coaching job, because, the Cardinals still don't have a guy. I think their whole thing is bringing someone in and saying, hey, will you coach Kyler for us? And the guy
everyone's
man.
No.
Yeah, I mean, truly that's what's happening. I don't want to get into that too heavily, but that was the head coaching gig he interviewed for. They've clearly cast a wide net. He's a really smart defensive mind, but that lawsuit doesn't help him in getting a head coaching position down the line.
Yeah.
And so enjoy just having a really good defensive coordinator for a while, man. That's awesome.
One of his biggest problems.
Hold on. Don't you wish it was the Saints defensive assistant though?
No.
Damn.
So
go ahead, Mace.
So Flores' biggest problem with Miami when he was the head coach was he was just terrible at building relationships and fostering relationships on the offensive side of the ball. That's part of his problem and what he'll need to learn to become a better head coach. There's no question at all. His defensive scheme and philosophy and game plans are fantastic, top-notch, some of the best in the NFL. He's a very, very good defensive coordinator. I'm with Mark. I don't think you have to worry about him leaving for a while. I think you got Flores for 2 to 3 years. If the defense performs the way it should.
Love that.
Yes.
I love that. I'm just thinking if the defense performs the way it should and it's good, our defense is good, someone will snatch him up. I don't know. I just have a feeling about it. But I hope I'm wrong. And first off, let's just hope he's the right guy for the job and he does well and he brings our 31st ranked defense a little bit better next year.
I hope so. Matt, we wanted to touch on Aaron Rodgers. He had some interesting comments on the Pat McAfee show today. He said he's going to go. Mm-hmm. What was the correct phrasing? To a house.
Can I read it?
Yeah, please do. Please do.
So he said on the Pat McAfee show that he's going on a darkness retreat. That's in quotes. In a couple weeks. It is 4 days. Complete darkness. Just himself in a little house. That's literally how this tweet says. And he said a quote by Aaron Rodgers is, quote, "I've had a number of friends who've done it and they had profound experiences." So he says he expects a decision on his playing future after his darkness retreat. So I just need Gan to talk about this for a second.
Long story short, to each its own, right? Everyone's got a way of dealing with things. That's maybe not necessarily something that I would venture into. Okay. But if that's what he wants to do to clear his mind, to reset, because there's obviously a lot of rumors that maybe the Packers are going to move on. Someone's going to maybe take his contract. I'm sure there will be some eligible suitors that would like Aaron Rodgers to play. I think he still can play at an MV caliber level within the right system. It might be the time that the Packers move on. I have no idea. Obviously, there was a leaked rumor that Adam Schefter reported that the Packers would prefer to move on because of cap space situation and just to kind of get over the Aaron Rodgers saga that's been deteriorating over the last few years with that relationship in the front office. So this is what he has to do to have a mental reset. He might end up retiring. I don't know. I don't think he'll retire the same year that Tom Brady, the absolute GOAT, retires. He might have a few more years in him, especially since he's 10 years younger. Whatever the man's got to do. That's it. It's all about mental health and wellness, and that's the way he deals with it. So
okay. Mark.
Just like a lot of things. Yeah. Do y'all know the rules of the darkness retreat?
Yes, you're not supposed to have any light whatsoever.
So no electronics.
Wow. No electronics. No.
Like the fridge light doesn't work.
No. You were I looked this up and I saw a video on it today. The purpose of it is no external stimuli whatsoever. So you are supposed to be in a room that is zero light, no crack from under a door, no through a keyhole, no windows, no nothing, no electronics, no screen time, no nothing. You're not supposed to see anything. And when you do that for, I think it starts at like 3 days, you start to like hallucinate and see and see things and have visions or, go on vision quests or something. I don't freaking know. But that's what the video I watched said. But yeah, there's not supposed to be any light. So when he said he's going to a cabin in the woods, I thought that was weird because I'm like, how do you make sure there's zero light in a house? I mean, I guess you could black out windows, but when you have a lot of money, I guess there's a lot of answers to questions that I don't really think about. But
I don't think I could do it. That doesn't
sound
therapeutic.
You absolutely could not do it.
No. Patrick, I couldn't do it either.
I don't think you could do it for like 20 minutes.
No.
I couldn't do it.
I couldn't either. I don't he's a weird dude. This isn't the This isn't
I think
the
it's like
first time
torture,
we're like,
honestly.
hey,
It's like
so
torture
weird.
or something.
Remember when he ate clay with Shailene Woodley?
Man, this guy.
Sometimes you got to do what you got to
Strange.
do. But
I'll give the dude credit, man. He lives an interesting life. He won the AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am last week over Josh Allen, playing some golf, and now he's just like, yeah, I'm gonna go sit in a dark room for 4 days, and see what life's about.
Hallucinate.
I mean, dude, it's just
Yeah,
wild.
he doesn't work as hard as other quarterbacks in the league, and that's why he's only won one Super Bowl. It's like very obvious.
Yeah, that has no correlation whatsoever.
Yeah, it does.
And you have no idea how hard he works in the.
All right, so
offseason.
the last thing I want to touch on in this, Matt, I want it on record right now. You, Matthew Gann,
Yep.
will remain a Packers fan once Aaron Rodgers is no longer on the roster.
Yeah, I mean, look what I'm wearing right now. I'm literally wearing a
He's
Packers.
currently on the
roster.
Packers
It doesn't
roster.
say.
That's not
He's on the
answering the
roster.
question.
Does it say
Literally
Aaron Rodgers on the back
not
of this?
answering the question.
I told you
You're just
guys this
deflecting.
earlier. Thank you, Tyson. You can. Told you guys this earlier. My loyalty lies with the green and gold. It always will be. I am an Aaron Rodgers fan, so if he ends up getting traded somewhere else, I will obviously root for him. But Green Bay Packers is my team. I'm not Patrick, who has 5 different NFL teams.
Are you inspired to do a darkness retreat?
I definitely would do it. I'd be open to it. I might not
Yeah.
do 4 days, but I think you could. Might be a profound experience. There's reasons why people do it. I'd probably last a day or so, I bet.
Is that what you're taking your first date on next week? So
No, that'd be kind of weird. I think it's more of an individualized experience, Ryan. So
Really?
I don't think I
He's
would
right.
take anybody with
I
me.
think he's right.
So no
He's
offense
right.
to you, but
Matt's-
fact check yourself.
Matt's gonna go on this kind of retreat, and like right before the hallucinations hit, he's gonna be like, "Oh, I should get out of here."
Yeah. Like, ooh, I'm starting to feel a little funny.
Look at Aaron Rodgers and be like, "Yeah, dude, I totally get it now."
Yeah.
Drink some water.
Yeah.
Hey, don't knock until you try it, boys. That's all I'm saying.
You know what you should do if you really love Aaron? I watched the 30 for 30 on the Baltimore Ravens, the 2000 Baltimore Ravens, and that guy who locked himself on the roof of his house until the Ravens scored an offensive touchdown, and he was up there for like 6 weeks. Say you're going to do a darkness retreat until Aaron Rodgers decides he's coming back to the Packers.
I might not ever come back, boys. You might never see me again.
No, but maybe he'll see you and be inspired to come
Well,
back to get you out of that room.
But he's not going to be. Gam won't be able to be on social media telling people
Well,
about his darkness.
we have a thriving podcast right now. We can get the word out.
We're
No
just gonna
problem.
like live stream this door, and it's like
We could.
it's behind this.
We could just live stream it. We could. All right. That's amazing. Okay. Moving on to the Super Bowl. Super Bowl, what number is it? 50?
Bang, bang. 57.
57. Good Lord. Super Bowl 57 in Arizona. Eagles, Chiefs. Do we have the spread number? Do we have the number?
I can get it.
Eagles 1.5.
That's what I thought.
Eagles
Yeah,
1.5.
has not moved whatsoever.
What's the juice? Is it minus 110?
I have
Okay.
no idea. I just know it's 1.5.
Yeah. That's what I thought.
I love it.
Marks.
I love it.
Marks
So,
Yeah, I'm saying
what's
minus
the
110.
juice?
so
Everyone's like, I don't know what that is.
this will be our. So Matt's locked into last place. Matt's locked into
yeah.
last. So we're battling for first essentially. And who is it? It's me
You.
and me and who?
Just you, and then Mark and I are tied for second. So Mark and I could tie you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So
Right.
yeah. So okay. 1.5. Matt, we'll start with you. Make your pick. Make your case for your pick. Go ahead.
Yeah, I've been thinking really hard and long about this, as you guys can imagine. There's OU players on both sides of the ball that I greatly root for. But when I look down at what the Eagles have done, they've definitely had the easier road to the playoffs.
Yeah.
They've made it to the Super Bowl with a young Jalen Hurts, which not a lot of people thought they would do. But I'm going to go Eagles. I believe with the offensive line.
Eagles
That's
minus
in the NFL.
1.5.
Yes, correct.
Okay.
Best offensive line. Best running game. And I think Jalen Hurts' ability to maneuver and run out of the pocket where Patrick Mahomes still might be a little hobbled, right? We saw him last week or 2 weeks ago, just not be fully able to run on that ankle. So I think that's going to keep him in the pocket. The Eagles have a great pass rush. So I think they're going to be able to get to him, apply a lot of pressure. They have a great secondary as well. They've played great defense all year. I'm going to go the Eagles on this one.
Okay. Ryan Tyson.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Chiefs. And mine is going to be a very easy reason. They have the best player on the field. I think this is a very, very special season for Pat Mahomes. And I think it ends in a Super Bowl victory, even if he is still a little hobbled. Like Gan said, I think Eagles have had an easier path. And just, everything that Kansas City has done, beating Cincinnati last week with a hobbled Patrick Mahomes and coming in, I think he's going to be a little healthier, and I just think he'll take over and he's gonna win the Super Bowl for him. So that's my pick.
Okay. Mark and Pat, I'm going to make my pick first because since I am the lead, I don't want to go opposite of you guys. So I can just go ahead and say that this is what I was picking. So I don't go opposite of you and, lock in something. Sound good? Okay.
Yeah.
So I am going to go with the Kansas City Chiefs plus 1.5, but I have the Chiefs outright. I think the Chiefs are the better team. Andy Reid was in his media availability this week and said everybody practiced this week. Everybody was healthy. Everybody's now healthy is a relative term. Nobody's really healthy at this point in the season, but healthy enough to practice and participate. The big story with the Chiefs was, yes, Patrick Mahomes, but also his receivers were really, really banged up as well. So those guys now healthy again, being able to move around, that should be big for them. I have the Chiefs. I think they're the better team, and I think they can score a lot of points. And I don't know that the Eagles can score to keep pace with the Chiefs. I love Jalen Hurts. He's going to have to throw for over 300 yards to keep the Eagles in this game, and I don't think he can. I don't think he can. And he's had doubters his whole career. Count me as one of them, I guess. I did not see this version of Jalen Hurts coming at all, so all the credit to him. He deserves his flowers. He has had a great season. Some might even say an MVP season. I don't think he wins this game. I think Patrick Mahomes is the future GOAT, and this is how he further cements that future legacy.
Mark, do you want to go first or you want me to go first? Have you gone? Yeah, Brian went.
Yeah,
Ryan went. I mean, I can go. My argument is sort of actually the flip side of Ryan's argument, where I took both teams and said, okay, Patrick Mahomes is the better quarterback, right? I'm not arguing that, even though I love Jalen. But let's switch those guys around, right? Put Patrick Mahomes on this Eagles team with those receivers, the tight end core, the line, the defensive backfield, the coaching they've had all season. And that's a much better team, right, than the Chiefs team he's talking about or he's playing on. Is Patrick Mahomes good enough to overcome being on what I really think is just a lesser team talent-wise? And I don't think he is. So give me the Eagles minus 1.5, and I might even would look at some alternate lines higher than that.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I like confident. Patrick.
I love it.
Yeah, I agree with Mark. My only hesitancy is that Jalen Hurts has never won a big game, a championship game, a playoff game, right? Or I guess he's won a playoff game, but not the national championship game. Because Tua came in.
He's won an SEC championship game. He came in for him when Tua got hurt in the SEC championship and won that game. And he won a Big 12 championship.
Yeah, okay. But those are like AFC championships or NFC
championships. Okay, fair enough.
Right.
Fair enough.
That's my hesitancy, but I think Eagles have this. I think they're just the better team overall. If they take it slow, I think they definitely win. And also, if they're not taking it slow and Patrick Mahomes has to move a lot, I don't know if that's beneficial to the Chiefs. So give me the Eagles. I think, Mark, I agree with you. Pretty much outright, I could see them winning. I could see them winning handedly.
So am I the only one on the Chiefs?
Gosh, this is so fun. No, I am.
You are. Okay, my bad.
But I don't matter. So
You do matter.
we're fine.
You matter.
Whoa.
You could tie us.
No.
You
I
matter.
mean, like, I don't matter in the like the ranking.
Oh, like you aren't first or last is what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm right in the middle.
Okay, I get what you're saying. So yeah. Do we have a tie? Do we want to do a tiebreaker real quick between the three of us, Mark, Pat?
Yeah, sure.
You want me to explain it?
Yes,
What I
please
had
do.
in mind?
Yeah. please do.
Okay. So something that we had in mind was just to sort of talk about prop bets that you can find on the Super Bowl. If you're at all familiar with betting, then you're familiar with Super Bowl prop betting. And you have more options than you ever have on any other game in freaking sports history every single year. And they add more every single year. So we're all going to throw some prop bets out there that we think are fun, that we think could kind of apply to the game and how we think, it's going to go. And specifically, Mason and Patrick and I are going to throw out some bets that with a theoretical $100 bet, who makes the most money if it hit or when it hits, right? And that's our tiebreaker. So if Mason's right and the Chiefs cover, then it doesn't matter at all. But if Mason's wrong and Patrick and I are right, suddenly our tiebreakers come into effect because we're all tied otherwise. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. And I don't know, does anyone want to go first specifically out of you two guys, or would you like if I started?
I haven't
You
looked at
start.
props, so you just go for it.
You start.
Okay, cool. Then with my choice, I am going to go with Devontae Smith, 80 plus yards at plus 170. So my $100 bet plays out plus $170, and it happens if Devontae Smith hits 80. Here's the thing. If the Eagles cover, I think Devontae is their most reliable receiver, and I think it's reasonable to expect him to get a good number of catches and a good number of yards in that scenario. I also think plus 170 for 80 yards of production is pretty good value for a guy like Devontae Smith.
Okay. I got the total sacks between both the Chiefs and Eagles at 3 for plus 50. Plus 350, pardon me. Plus 350 for 3 total sacks. That's what I'm going with. That's what I'm going with. Which is funny because you can get the same odds, Mark, for 4 total sacks. You could still get plus 350 for 4.
Well, that's because you're not doing any kind of over-under.
Yeah.
You're staying right on one number, right?
Yeah, exactly. But I'm going to go with 3 just because 4 scares me. It just does.
So do you have to get 3 or above, or do you have to get 3 exact?
I have to get 3.
Exact.
I have to get 3 exact.
Ooh.
I have to get 3 exact. So I'm thinking Pat Mahomes gets sacked twice and Jalen Hurts sacked once. That's what I think happens. Oh, geez, sorry. I should mute when I do that.
All right, Patrick. Come on, baby.
Come on, Pat.
Give me the Chiefs to score in every quarter minus 260.
Ooh. Okay.
But
That's
you still
pretty
have
hard.
Philly winning.
That's fine.
It is.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
Okay.
I like it,
It's a
Pat.
little convoluted. You should definitely see if you can parlay those in real life because it's not
It's probably a sure thing if I
Likely.
did.
to happen.
I like it.
I love it, Patrick.
Let us know down below in the comments what prop bets you've focused on, what you've seen, what's something fun that you might
Pat, where were those odds?
throw some money at.
Minus 260.
Minus 260.
Minus 260 or plus 260?
Said minus.
All right. So you're hoping that neither of us hit, right?
Yeah, that's what he's hoping.
Well, that's sorry. I didn't have enough time.
It's okay.
I got some
You
fun
went
ones
a
for
sure
you.
thing. Oh yeah, we have some more. So Matt, please take it
Yeah.
away. We
Yeah,
put
go
our
ahead, Matt.
tiebreakers. Those are the 3 that are going to matter for the standings. These are just some fun ones. We like
Yep.
these.
Yeah. I have my own little Mark who lives not too far away from me where I am currently. So I was getting some good insider information on some just fun sports prop bets that he's looking at. I got Patrick Mahomes to throw an interception. I think with that bad ankle, it's going to force him to stay in the pocket. Eagles pass rush are going to get after him. Eagles have a top 3 secondary. Patrick Mahomes has thrown 12 interceptions through the entire season, a little bit more turnover prone than usual. Another one for Patrick Mahomes, his first rushing attempt to be over 3.5 yards. So as you know, Patrick Mahomes does not do any QB sneaks because a couple years back he got injured. So now Travis Kelce and the tight ends take them. So the only time he does run is when he absolutely needs to. So his first rushing attempt over 3.5 yards. Travis Kelce over 8.5 targets, not catches, just targets. So balls thrown his way. He had 15 catches in the AFC title game. Nicole Hardman is out on IR. And like Matt Mason mentioned earlier, wide receivers are still banged up. I think Travis Kelce is going to have a monster game if Kansas City has a chance. So over 8.5 targets. 2 Eagle bets that I had. Apologies. Miles Sanders over 63.5 rushing yards. There's a reason the Eagles have won so many games this year. It's with the trenches, having the best offensive line, the best center, and Jason Kelce. I think they have to establish a run game early and often if the Eagles are going to win this game. And that kind of leads to my last one, Jalen Hurts, under 31 passing attempts. I think with the defense being so strong, the heavy reliance on the run game, that will cause him to have less than 30 pass attempts. So those are my 5 kind of Super Bowl props that I'm looking into that I think are pretty good odds. And I'll get in and put them in the outline with the numbers as well. So
okay, Ryan, you got any?
No, I have none.
Okay, I have one that I want to mention. I want to have one that I want to mention, Mark, because I know you probably have one, but I just saw this. I love Eagles to score 11 to 15 points in the first quarter plus 650. That sounds fun to me. You're telling me all I need is 2 touchdowns in the first quarter from the Eagles? I kind of like it.
Yeah,
I kind of like it. That's a value bet in my eyes.
So it's funny you have that. I have down on mine Philadelphia first quarter points over 6.
Okay.
It's minus 115. And in their last 9 games, they're 6-3, scoring more than 6. In their last 3 games, it's 2-1. And Philadelphia frequently hits this over the entire season. They were 6-7, 9-4 over the last 13. They're on a run of being able to put up points in the first quarter. And as a fun little in addition, you can hit first scoring play for the Eagles. First scoring play being an Eagles touchdown plus 160. If you just think that that's what's going to happen, that's out there. Something that I'm thinking about doing is hitting the first quarter over, and also sort of hedging my bet with a Travis Kelce first touchdown plus 630 and an Isaiah Pacheco first touchdown plus 850. Right? I go in big on those Eagles things. So that's what I think is going to happen. But if the Chiefs score first, those are the players that I expect it to be. Yeah. So that's sort of how I'm thinking that first quarter plays out. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I think that I'm hedging my bet in a good way too.
Perfect. Anybody else?
Pat, what you got? What
no
more fun?
Turnovers is plus
bets.
650. I like that one.
No turnovers plus 650. Okay.
That's a fun one.
That's a fun one as well. ROI.
I have way more. Not way more, but enough for a small little segment here. Devontae Smith over 5.5 receptions at minus 105. He's 4-1 hitting that number over his last 5 games. So he's clearly a reliable target for Jalen. I know he lines up on the outside, but he's really Wes Welkery, man. He gets open every single time. Kelce, anytime touchdown scores, minus 135. He's going to score a touchdown.
Bang.
Right? Dallas Goedert, anytime touchdown score, plus 190. I think they're going to worry so much about A.J. Brown, so much about that running game. You're going to get Dallas Goedert scoring a touchdown. Kadarius Toney, plus 210. In a situation where Mecole Hardman doesn't even suit up, he's been called out for the game. I think you see Kadarius Toney possibly a little more involved than we've seen him before. Finally, I've got 2 Oklahoma homer bets online. I of all the bets I provided you guys, these were the only times I could see my homie Grant Calcaterra. You can get Grant Calcaterra to score the first touchdown of the second half at plus 8,000 odds.
Ooh.
And if you don't like that, if you're thinking, okay, sure, maybe. I mean, I know the Eagles love to run the ball, but maybe that's not the tight end they throw to. And maybe I think the Chiefs are the team that I want to go with, right? Let me offer you first touchdown of the second half, Blake Bell.
Oh,
Plus 7,000.
Oh,
That opens you up to that big formation on the goal line where he just kind of leaks out and it happens to be Blake Bell that does it. It opens you up to the funky quarterback sneak they run. A lot of options here. Plus 7,000. First touchdown in the second half, Blake Bell. Not bad, right?
not bad at all.
parlay
Not
those two.
bad at all.
Well, that doesn't.
Matt?
That doesn't work.
Matt, go ahead.
Yeah, those are all great. I love them. I'm glad we had this segment. I just want to give 3 quick fun facts for this Super Bowl. First time ever that 2 brothers are playing against each other, Travis and Kelsey, or Travis and Jason,
Awesome.
sorry. 2 starting African-American quarterbacks, and Patrick Mahomes and Jalen Hurts. And the third fun fact is 15 out of the last 18 Super Bowls, a team that is wearing white has won. Kansas City is wearing white. Eagles wearing their home green. The only 3 times that has not happened is the green and gold, Pittsburgh Steelers, and, can anyone guess it, the Eagles against the Patriots. And now the Eagles are playing the Super Bowl. So just had to throw some fun facts in there.
Fun facts from Matt Gann. Okay. Ryan, you got a must-watch this week?
I don't, but I have like an intro for
Okay.
something that I would like to do. And this is definitely Mark's idea. So I have to give Mark all the credit in the world who texted me this today.
All right.
So there is like not a lot of TV on right now. And I went to go see a movie this week and it kind of sucked. And I don't really want to talk about that. So I don't have like a
Ryan,
lot
still
of
watch.
things for must watch. Yeah, I'm still watching a lot of stuff, guys. But like, Hogwarts Legacy is going to come out on PS5 and I'm going to be playing that.
Mhm.
I'm just going to be busy. So I think in the meantime, Mark had a really good idea to talk about, like water cooler shows, right? So right now, The Last of Us on HBO, which I talked about a couple weeks ago, is kind of a water cooler show, meaning a lot of people are watching it. I think ratings, if I've seen for the past 3 episodes, have gone up like 30% every single episode. To about like 6.4 million viewers, I
It's
believe,
getting popular,
which
definitely.
is
Started popular,
huge,
man.
which is huge for HBO. Like that's a lot of people for HBO. It's not Game of Thrones numbers, but nothing is really Game of Thrones numbers. So I and Mark's idea again, giving him the credit.
You want me to
But
just do this?
I would love to break down some of these episodes a little bit further so we could talk about them as a group, because I know at least Mason and Mark are watching this show. I don't know about Matt and Pat, but you guys should, and we should talk about it, and we could break it down into just like 10 minutes. And I want to do next week, and I want to talk about the first 2 episodes next week.
Next week.
Okay.
Okay.
And we are a little bit behind. So episode 5 is premiering Friday this week because it's avoiding the Super Bowl. And there will be
Smart.
There will be 9 total episodes. So I think, I have not done the math, but I think if we did 2 episodes each, which I haven't decided yet if episode 3 is going to get its own segment because it's a gorgeous episode of television.
But that does kind of cut. That makes it.
Mhm.
That first third is tough, probably.
Yeah. So I want to do the first 2 next week, and then probably 3, 4, maybe 3, 4, 5, depending on what we see. So roll with it. I will discuss with you guys offline exactly like kind of the structure and how I want to go about doing it. So it'll be a surprise for the listeners, but I think it could be fun because a lot of people are watching this show and I want to make it more engaging. So great idea, Mark.
Love it.
Appreciate it.
Hope so.
Coming
Right?
next week.
Stay tuned for that next week. Okay. And now for our final segment of the week, our PGP MVP of the week. Patrick, start with you.
Yeah, it's been a slow week for everybody, but I did call Gan earlier in the week, and he told me he went on a first date. And then he just told me he's going on another first date.
Wow.
So I'm going to give it to Gan and Gan's first dates this week.
Wow.
Aw.
What a player. Matt, again,
He's
comment?
building
Those
the
are good
bench,
numbers,
man.
man.
He's building the bench, like you always told him, Pat. It's great.
I never tell any of these girls about this, so they never have to listen. So
No,
So,
they just look at Matthew Gann. They're watching.
Bro, you think girls don't know?
yeah.
You
Oh,
think-
they know.
They know.
Yeah, dude.
They know.
They
They
100%
last
know.
I
name,
promise.
you know.
I promise.
If you're
Okay.
still with us, please drop a comment if you think they know. Or-
Yeah. Let us know. Let us know if you think they know, they know.
Hey. And if you're with us,
Yeah, if you're with us.
Matt Gann loves first dates, so
He does.
He does.
hit us
Some
up.
people are saying
You
he
you in
loves
the
them more than
Dallas
the
area?
Packers.
In
It's
the
at
Dallas area?
theprogramguys@gmail.com. Drop
Mhm.
your deets.
Yeah.
Love to get them.
Love to get him. Matt, who's your MVP?
I don't even know
Myself.
how to. Yeah, I'm not gonna give it to myself. I'm gonna do a loser MVP, and this might be a little premature because I'm not sure how it works or how it will work. But I'm gonna give it to the Dallas Mavericks for that horrible trade
Yeah.
for Kyrie Irving.
Yeah.
Mason has experience. I think Kyrie is just kind of a culture killer. He's a team killer. Again, is he a transcendent player in the NBA?
Yes.
The talent, the ability, the ball handling, for sure. Everywhere he goes, though, he absolutely kills the team. I think this is a horrible move by Mark
Awful.
Cuban. Listen, I could be completely wrong, but I think with such a ball handler in Luka, why would you want to have another ball handler in Kyrie while you give up two really good role players in Spencer and Finney Smith? So I don't get the trade. I think they gave up way too much, especially for Kyrie. I'm going to say prematurely loser MVP to the Dallas Mavs.
I don't get what the Mavericks are doing.
Yeah. I
They're
don't
going to
understand it.
kill
I'm
Luka
shocked.
Doncic. They are going to kill him. They're going to kill him. It's wild. I don't understand it.
He already started being toxic today.
Dude,
Yeah.
I don't know what Mark Cuban like. Mark Cuban is such a smart guy.
he is.
I don't
know
get
what
this
he's
one at
doing.
all.
I don't get it.
That's a good point, Patrick. And that's the interesting thing is the story of Kyrie Irving since the shot in the finals is a bunch of smart guys hitching their wagon to him that shouldn't have. Wick Rosbeck is a smart guy. Brad Stevens is a smart guy. Joe Tsai is a smart guy. Kevin Durant is a smart guy. Sean Marks is a smart guy. Mark Cuban's a smart guy. All of them have at one time or another hitched their wagon to this dude, and you get burnt every single time. I also think that final shot was 7 years ago. What have we seen Kyrie do that makes you think he is a force to be reckoned with the way he used to be next to such a ball dominant player like Luka Doncic? Now, Luka's incredible. They'll probably make it second round Western Conference Finals this year, but I don't want to get in bed with Kyrie Irving, man.
No way.
Good
No
shit,
shot.
Matt. This was awesome.
Yeah.
Way to let us talk basketball
Yeah.
because we don't
Not
talk
enough.
We
not
don't,
enough.
man. We don't. Not until the playoffs, I feel like. Once the playoffs start, we get a little into it. But
basketball. Drafty.
yeah. Ryan?
Yeah, I've already talked about these guys today, but I'm gonna give mine to Kwesi and KOC out of Minnesota. I think the hiring of Brian Flores was brilliant, and really excited to see that in the future.
Love it. Mark?
Yeah, I'm going with, he doesn't listen to the show, my brother, Daniel Hall.
That's right.
Now a lawyer,
Hell yeah.
graduated from
Esquire.
Baylor Law this year. No, that's not. So he's a
Sorry.
lawyer, but he's got to pass the bar to
Oh.
be an attorney. So
Okay.
I found that out
Mm,
this
mm.
weekend, and then my dad called him an attorney, and I was like, "Hey, he's a lawyer." Like, no. I get to keep him in line on something that. But more importantly, Daniel worked his ass off. He's very smart. He's very capable. He graduated with distinction in litigation. He's the only person in his entire class to do that. He has a job lined up in Dallas. He's going to do great things, and I'm really proud of him. Daniel Hall, my MVP.
Awesome.
Oh, that was sweet.
It all started at Kingwood Debate Club, man. There you are.
It,
did.
it all It all started there. Man, I don't really have an MVP this week. I mean, I guess you guys are my MVP this week,
Aw.
Just good.
Why is everyone being all sweet?
Well, this
today?
is like I don't know.
Valentine's Day.
You know how you
Valentine's
have you have like one of those weeks every now and then that's just like, man, like nothing's really happened. It's just log another one of 52.
That's like the February thing. It always happens in February. It's like blah. If you like had a month that's like blah, I feel like it's February.
Yeah. So that's kind of where I'm at.
I'm going to give Mason his MVP for the week. So there's a tweet from this guy named Bill Connolly that says, who's got the most useful class for 2023 coming in? And so he's looking at transfers and he's looking at, your top level freshmen that are coming in. And he had Oklahoma second behind only LSU. Bill Connolly's a homie. I think he might be a Texas grad and he's still got us up.
Bill Connolly's the on three guy, isn't he?
He might have used to be, but now he's for ESPN Plus.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Great. Let us know down below if you're still with us. Who's your MVP of the week? We read every single comment. Love to hear from you guys. That's going to do it for this week's show. Be sure to subscribe on our YouTube channel. Trying to hit 1,500 subscribers by the end of the month. You can follow us on Twitter at Program Guys with a Z, our Instagram Program Guys with a Z, our Facebook page Program Guys Podcast. However you get your podcast, that's where you can find us. We'll see you next week, my people. Everyone have a great week. Try to overcome the blah week that is. Enjoy the Super Bowl on Sunday. Patrick, take us out.
Keep pushing it, baby.